Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello guys, welcome to the Dara Education Project video tutorial series for the ASP.NET, and in this session number 14 we are going to learn in other list box control and ASP.NET control, that was list box control. This list box belongs to the list controls, as we already discussed in the previous section that there are the different kinds of the list control in ASP.NET. Mainly there are the five list controls, just drop down list, checkbox list, radio button list, list box and bulleted list. We already discussed the drop down list, checkbox list and bulleted list. Now we are going to discuss the list box. List box control is basically a collection of the list item objects. Items can be added to the list box in the HTML or in the coded section file. You can also bind the list box with the data binding like any other list items. There are the two main properties which we will discuss in this session. One is the rows and the other is the selection mode. So we will go to the project and create a new project and name this project as the list box example and click on OK. Okay, now we will create a file at web form and name this form as a default. Okay, first of all I am going h2 dot education education list box is control example and go to the design mode. Okay, now we will select the list box control, and here is the list box control. Just click on it. So the major difference between a drop down list and the list box control is that in a drop down list you can see, if I will just carry it here, you can see that it will have a single row, and when you select this one then it will drop down the objects selected in this drop down. But in list box we have a list of items and we can check that whether which items can be displayed or which item cannot be displayed. So we will go to the properties. We can insert the values within the both methods, either with the collection method, a property of the list box, or either we can use the code here, but I am using the items here. Here is the, for example, I am giving the text like the food, Chinese food, Pakistani food. You can change the value, continental, coffee, juices, drinks, fast food, okay. Now if you will OK, then you can see that the values are showing here, and if you want to go to the source code, then you can see that the code was automatically write down for you. So if we always also discuss this in the presentation, that you can add the objects of list item either with the coding or either with the design mode. So we will run this program in the Google Chrome. Okay, you can see that the values are shown here, and if by default you can only select one value in the list box, but you can change it according to the selection mode. So first of all we will need to understand the two properties. One is the rows and the other is the selection mode. Basically the rows will allow you to how much values you can want to show. So here in the rows it will be a 4. If you will make it 7, then you can see the 7 values, and if you change the rows mode it will show only 2, then you can only see the 2 values. So I'm going to select the 7 values, and I want to change the single mode to the multiple mode here, and now run this program once again. Okay, now you can see that if you will press the control button, and then you can select the multiple values due to this selection mode, and you can see that the 7 values are displayed here. In this way you can control the design pattern of the Listbox control. And now we are going for some coding to understand the object thinking. So when you click on it, we will go to the here Listbox 1 selected index change, and suppose we use the method of response. Okay, we will use response dot write method, and here you select the food plus is equal to, this will be the listbox 1 dot selected item dot text property here. Okay, now suppose we will run this program and see what will happen. Okay, when we will select the Pakistani food, and here is the Pakistani food. Okay, I think we need to change this code behind the button cut. Okay, we are not implementing this code on the select here, and use a button. Okay, and change the code show selection. Click on it, and now write this one behind this code. Okay, you need to understand which method you will need to select. Okay, when we have Pakistani food, then show, you select the food, Pakistani food, and if I select the drinks, show selection, you can see that. But if I select the 2 option, then what will happen? You can see that the first one was selected while the other was not selected, because we are not taking it into the loop. One more thing, if we want to show the values, then sorry, we need to close debugging, and then if we want to show the value, then we will select the value here. There is one problem behind this code, is that if we will not select any object between this, then what will happen? For example, you can see that an error will be shown, because we will need to continue to the listbox item 1 dot selected item dot value, but we are not selecting it. So you can see that an error was occurred for the null reference exception. So in order to avoid this thing, we need to write the code in the if statement. If condition will hold that listbox 1 dot selected index is not equal to -1, because -1 indicate that no object was selected here in the list. We will not use a 0 for this thing, because 0 in lists are just like the array, and the first element is on the index 0. I will show you how it will happen. And if you will go to show the indexes, let's suppose we are changing this one. Response using the BR for the break. Response dot write the list item index plus is equal to listbox dot selected item dot index sorry did index dot toString, because this is in the form of the integer, so we need to convert it into the string format. First of all, if I will select without any selection, then you can see that no error will be handled. Okay, if I will select show selection, then you can see that the index was of 2, and if I will select the Chinese, then it will be on 0. That's why we cannot use 0 here. So we will create a loop, create a condition that listbox 1 dot selected index is not equal to -1, then this code will be run. Okay, now if we will want to display the multiple items, then how can we perform it? I just make the comments for this code, and now write a for loop here. For each loop for each loop is used for the you can see that list item, and make the variable name data in the list box 1 dot items. Okay, this loop will get all the values from the listbox 1 dot items into the variable data, and if data dot selected, then we can say that response dot write, and name the property here whatever plus concat data dot selected dot text property data dot value value here, and use the response dot write for some space here. Okay, and here I will write response dot write your food list is, for example, this one, and just remove this one and write this code outside the loop here. Now run this application, and since we have the selection mode multiple selection, then we can select more than one values. You can see that just like this. Now you can see that the PK food and the continental values are here. Similarly, if we will select all of them, then you can see that all of the foods are selected. So in this way you can use the Listbox control in the ASP.NET. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. Please subscribe our channel for further videos. Allah Hafiz.